This segment's being sponsored by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Join us in preserving and protecting Tennessee's wildlife.
Me and the boys had a really good dove hunt this morning. There were several bulletproof birds that flew through, but nonetheless we had a good time. Now the fun comes, teaching them how to clean them. You know, as outdoorsmen, we have a responsibility to teach and train the younger generation about our love for the outdoors. Take them hunting, take them fishing, in hopes that they will love it as we do and pass it on to the next generation. The Apostle Paul wrote a letter to the church of Ephesus, and he was giving them direction on how to live. One of the things he said was, "Fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath, but bring them up in the training and the admonition of the Lord." You know, as parents, as dads, as friends, we have a responsibility to teach the things of God to our children and to their friends, to bring them up that they will be godly men and women. So my challenge for you this week is this: take someone hunting, take your children hunting, take your neighbor hunting, teach them the things of the outdoors that you love, and take a moment to pay attention to God's blessings and start that conversation. You never know where that may lead. Hey, thanks for watching this week. We pray that you are blessed. And always remember, keep shooting straight.
All right, everybody, this week's call-in segment's being sponsored by our friends over at Taylor's Archery. They're at 100 East Lauderdale Street, Tullahoma, Tennessee. You guys can give owner Tracy Taylor a call at 931-563-7706 to make sure you're set up and ready to go for the season opener. They are a Bowtech, Hoyt, Matthews, Mission, and Diamond dealer, so they can take care of all your repairs or all your new bow needs, whatever you need taken care of. All right, guys, we got the phone lines opening up for you. If you want to give us a call, you can give us a shout here at 615-737-7767. We'll be glad to take your calls, any questions or comments you may have. But until then, guys, let's talk a little bit. First, Shane, how long has Hope Outdoors been around, you know, doing what they're doing?
Well, they started off in 2004, and some guys in Alabama started up Hope Outdoors, and they wanted to take some disabled folks out, or folks with life-threatening illnesses, into the outdoors, and share their love and passion, you know, of the outdoors with those folks. And more importantly, they wanted to share the love of Christ with them and the hope that's there through Christ, you know. So they did that through the avenue of the outdoors, and so that's how it started, and it's grew from there to where it is today.
It has. I mean, you guys have all types of events. You know, I've heard of turkey hunts, fishing trips. You guys, with JR, you were talking about y'all had a really successful deer hunt. I think y'all took out 22 hunters and had 17 deer.
We did. That's when I how I met Shane was through Hugh McNaughton and Anthony Landreth did a radio show.
Yeah, at the radio show.
Then Hugh passed away, and Anthony asked me to come join and sit in, and I did. And we had Jason Rowland, and this was going on in my backyard. And I had no idea that it was happening.
And you had to take part in it, didn't you?
And I'm supposed to know, you know. And I was invited to go down there, and I did. And I was very impressed with the way it was run. I was very impressed with what they did. And I was impressed with the message, and you know, so I got behind them, and we had 17.
I think it was. 17.
I think it was 17 hunters, all the way up to a quadriplegic, who shot with a TV scope and a sniff tube, and 14 of them were harvested animals. And not only that, Hope took care of the caretakers as well. They took the caretakers out to get their hair done. I'm not sure what they. Your wife handled most of that.
Yeah, my wife usually handles the ladies, you know, that come with the kids or the participants, and she'll take them out, and they'll have a devotional. They'll go to get their nails done or hair done, and all that kind of stuff, you know. And so it's a time for them to get away because they're busy.
Yeah, they don't get a lot of me time.
No, they don't.
So that's really neat. Actually, I'll be honest, I didn't know about that part of what y'all did. I think that's really neat that you take the time to do that as well.
It is. Look, this organization is a very worth. The thing that I like most about it is, I want to do a little bit of investigating.
Yeah.
There's no top heaviness to this organization. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's nobody sitting up here making $180,000, $200,000 a year off the funds that we're raising. All of these funds go back into the organization to buy their licenses, to pay for their motel rooms, to buy their out-of-state license, which hopefully we're going to get that changed here in the near future.
Right.
But all of the money raised goes back into this organization.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be done. Like you mentioned, some special equipment, like the TV screens and things like that you guys have got to have, and you got to be able to get them in and out of the woods or on and off the water, and it takes a lot of volunteers to be able to do that too.
Yeah, it does.
It does. After the tournament, I've got to mention this, after the tournament, we had a little girl there, and I gave her a Monopoly puzzle from the city of Savannah. And she made the comment to Jason Rowland and Cedric Pointer, and I think to Shane, that she wanted to go fishing.
Yeah.
And these boys had been up all day and all night.
Fishing all day.
And they said, "You want to go fishing? We'll take you fishing." Well, they gathered up a bunch of people, picked her up, set her in the boat, backed the boat in the water. Make a long story short, went out, she caught a 28-pound catfish. Come back to the boat ramp, and they took pictures, and I get a call. I'm hauling all this stuff back to my house, and there's this little voice on there that says, "I want a picture with you." And I drove right back down there.
That's great. That's great. And her picture was actually at the end of that video that we showed a while ago, the picture of that fish. But it just shows the heart of the people that are behind this.
That's what it's all about.
It is. Well, guys, we're fixing to go over right now and look at this week's tip of the week. This week's tip of the week is being sponsored by Phoenix Custom Quality Rods. Y'all can find them at phoenixrods.com or right here in the state of Tennessee. Call Mr. Jim Brewer at 931-213-1455 and let him take care of all your Phoenix rods needs. All right, we're fixing to go over to the lake and check out this week's tip of the week. Guys, we want to explain something that we've talked about on the show several times, and I just want to show you guys that tonight's an example of how we really use this stuff that we tell y'all all the time. We have been catching some hybrid tonight, and I knew that there was a length limit on them. We knew obviously there was a length limit. I wasn't 100% sure on what it was. In my hand right here, folks, is the fishing guide for 2020, and it told me that these fish had to be 15 inches long. And also, if you go in the back, you can look here, and it's got a fish identification page. And on this fish identification page, it'll help us determine some differences in, say, a hybrid and a white bass, for example. Just to make sure that you know what it is that you've got in the boat. If you ever have any questions, you can look right here on this guide, and it'll tell you what you need to know.
And we just used it.
That's right, and we just used it. And the reason we keep this in the boat is there ain't a lick of cell service here. So because of that, keep this book in the boat, and you'll always have a way to be able to check your regulation, your length limits, your creel limits, slot limits, whatever, and also fish identification if you have any question as to what it is when you come to some of these species that look a lot alike, like the white bass and the hybrid.
And also too, it's a good thing. That regulation book and all these fish limits are pretty much lake specific. I mean, especially in West Tennessee, but I know they are in Middle too. But
like tonight we're on Cordell Hole, so I just switched right to Cordell Hole to tell us everything about Cordell and what the limits are on Cordell here. And so we can find that and then go to fish identification to find everything we need. All right, guys, we're getting ready to take another quick break. We'll be back here in just a minute with some more Southern Woods and Waters.